Today's look at salt, I'm going to focus on asthma, very uncomfortable condition. And although some of the studies in the first slide particularly look at exercise-induced asthma, really the relationship is one that can be associated with all types of asthma and definitely help improvement. Now, there's a study looked at in sports science in 2001, and in fact there have been several studies on this subject in that they found a low salt diet improves lung function, and that those that remain on a high salt diet post-exercise have exacerbated pulmonary function. So the lungs are struggling to work, and I'll explain why that is in a minute. Now, what they found was that there was improved bronchoconstriction, that is, less constriction in the muscles of the bronchial area after only cutting salt down for 2 to 5 weeks. So if you can imagine, that improvement would be ongoing after that period. And also, in addition to improved constriction, there was decreased reactivity in the lungs to triggers that might contribute to the asthma, like exercise, for example. So, like in the film Notting Hill, as the Welshman says, it's a combination of factors, really, pardon my terrible Welsh accent. Magnesium is another factor in this story, and really, like a lot of the other conditions I've mentioned this week, salt is a contributing factor, but it's the fact that that high salt intake in the body throws out our whole electrolyte mineral picture and creates a whole other set of symptoms and problems. So if we look at magnesium, it's been shown in the American Journal of Epidemiology 2002, and there have been many other studies about magnesium and asthma, that magnesium relaxes the smooth muscles of your pulmonary system. And in addition to that, magnesium has a push and pull effect on calcium. Like we were mentioning the other day in one of these little presentations, sodium and potassium interact together. Magnesium and calcium push each other around. And so magnesium is able to inhibit the calcium entering your lung cells. And the unfortunate thing is that we now have so much less magnesium in our soils because of the way that we generally farm. Organic farming is probably the only farming system that will add nutrients back into the soil rather than just spray fertilizer on. And particularly over the last 50 to 70 years, soil levels of magnesium have declined dramatically. And that means that anything we grow in those soils will also be lower in magnesium. Now, that ratio imbalance of the two minerals can contribute, particularly, for example, to things like muscle contractions and cramps. It makes a population that has a greater tendency to palpitations, but also the rates of asthma have grown considerably over the last 30 to 50 years. And there are many other reasons for that. And of course, we do have a lot more traffic around. So there are lots of environmental factors, but it's also looking, well, what are we putting inside our body? And just to mention a few magnesium-rich foods here, green leafy veg is an absolutely fantastic source of magnesium. We've got seafood, we've got pulses, some of them being higher than others. We've got whole grains, millet in particular being high in magnesium. Our nuts and our seeds are a good source of magnesium. So including these foods in the diet will make a difference to the amount of magnesium that's coming in. Now again, if you are someone who suffers with asthma and you'd like some nutritional guidance, then please do get in touch. And on the other hand, if you feel like you'd like to share this little video with somebody, please go ahead. Thank you.